it's John from Financial MD. Today we're going to talk a little bit about public service loan forgiveness. Now there's definitely way too much to cover in just one 2-minute video, but I want to give you a brief overview, enough to feel like maybe you understand it more than you used to. So what is public service loan forgiveness, or PSLF? This is probably an acronym that most young physicians know because you've got 6 figures of student loans, upwards of 200,000 or 300,000 is typically what we're seeing. And so the first thought is, how do I quickly get rid of these? Well, first and most obvious way is to have somebody else pay for it. In this case, it would be the federal government. So in about 2007, then President Obama came out with the public service loan forgiveness as part of an act that he was putting out, which was going to forgive the remainder of a student loan balance after a borrower had been paying 120 payments, or about 10 years if you're consistently paying. Now, why this is cool for a resident is because if you are, let's say, a surgical resident and you've got a 5-year residency and you start making a qualifying payment, say an IBR or a pay-as-you-earn or a repay from day one, you'll have 5 years of an income-based payment, which is typically $300 to $400 a month, much lower than what is the normal standard payment for a $300,000 loan. Now you get out of residency, you go into practice, now you've got to start paying a full payment, but you only have to pay that payment for 5 more years. So instead of paying a full payment for 10 years, you pay half of it at an income-based rate, and then the other half when you're in practice at a full rate. So 10 years of this, let's say maybe you've had a $300,000 loan, you've paid it down to maybe $150,000 or $200,000 over those 5 years in practice. At the end, what they're saying is then they would forgive the rest of that. Now, a common misconception is that forgiveness is not taxable. Normal forgiveness, so on a normal payment plan with federal student loans, you're paying a 25-year payment, and after 20 years, the rest of it is forgiven, but you're going to pay taxes on whatever that difference is, because it's like they're giving you a gift of forgiveness of income. So you've got to pay taxes on that. But with PSLF, that's not the case. Now, the other caveat on this is you've got to be working all those 10 years or 120 payments at a nonprofit institution, a public institution, or another federally qualified type of institution. So you've got to check with your employer, check with your loan servicer, whether it's Fed Loans, Great Lakes, or Nelnet, or Navient, or any of these other servicers. Determine if your payments are eligible, if your loans are eligible, because not all of them are. Most of them only came about after 2010. Okay, so if I'm talking to you and you've got loans before then, it's a good chance they're not eligible for PSLF. Okay, but if they are, then you're going to start to see some more things about this, and potentially you may qualify. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily have faith in this system or in this promise. They think it's going to change. Our opinions are kind of back and forth on that. But if you want, the question that we get the most, we haven't had any of our physicians get forgiveness yet. A lot of them are still hoping for it, and we'll see. But for now, if you're in private practice, it's definitely go the route of refinancing. But if you want to shoot for it and you have a job that qualifies, then by all means, something we can certainly discuss. So that's kind of the high-level overview of what PSLF is, or public service loan forgiveness. If you have any other questions, you can certainly reach out to us on the website, financialmd.com. Post them in the Facebook group or on the page. Other than that, this is John from Financial MD. We'll see you next time.